Hey guys, Matt, IronTrap Garage. We are back working on the Schroll 32 project, and today is floor day. We are going to start building the floors for the car, which is really exciting. So this car is channeled super hard, and we're going to try and do our best to get a completely flat floor as much as we can in the front of the car without any kind of big obtrusive tunnel or anything like that. And we're going to hopefully by the end of this have a full floor in this thing. Should be really awesome. So I'm gonna get some cardboard out, start patterning everything up, and see if we can get a floor figured out here. All right, so I was doing some CAD work here, and I got our floors kind of mocked up. I just used some big sheets of cardboard that I have laying around for doing this type of job. They're basically like a 4x8 sheet of cardboard, and it helps me to make these patterns on these big panels like this. So I'm going to try and make this out of two pieces. I'm going to show you guys what I came up with. I have basically the panel rolling up over the step in the frame here, the natural step. And then the way this thing's channeled, it actually is almost level with the top of the body here. So the floor just kind of lightly comes back downhill and will line up right here. So that was the whole idea, is that we can weld right along here, stitch weld along all this edge here, and that will help tie everything together. We'll also do a little welding around these uprights that we put in, and by doing all of that, I think it's going to make the back end of the car extremely strong. The nice thing with the way we did the drivetrain and everything that I was talking about when we were mounting everything is we have basically a flat floor all the way up to the firewall. All we have is just this little cutout here where the trans for the shifter, the LaSalle trans, comes up, but it's basically pretty much flat all in here, which is really great. And we can come pretty much all the way to the firewall, and then we'll just have to make a little section for right there where the bell housing is. But otherwise, this will get us a really nice flat floor. Not a lot of headspace, I will admit that. I've already taken out the back package tray, because we're probably gonna have to put that seat back as far as we can get to kind of lay down a little bit, or lean back a little bit further. But now that I have this all laid out and taped together, I'm going to take this front piece out, get this laid out on a sheet of metal, and then we'll do the same in the back. And this is going to be kind of a pain in the butt to get in, so I'm going to go off my patterns, which I have everything pretty much cut out. And I'm going to go off these patterns and just hope that that all works out pretty good. And then we will probably bead roll everything and put it right in. So this is going to be a big panel to bead roll, but can't wait to see this thing with some sheet metal skinned inside. All right, so I've been fitting the floors in. I had to do a lot of extra work because I went to my favorite salvage metal yard, Glick's, that's here locally, and they used to have pallet loads of cold rolled sheet metal. They were out of that this time, so they had this stuff that is brand new, that came out of some kind of factory, had pallets of it, but it had a white coating on it, and I thought maybe it was just painted white for something in a factory that they were making, but it is cold rolled and it is the right gauge. Well, it turns out I get it home and it's actually, I think, either baked on enamel or powder coat, which totally sucks to strip off, but because I am a cheap ass, I just ran with it. So it took a lot of extra time for these big patterns that I have here to strip them down with the Eastwood Contour SCT, but I got it all done. I got the front one trimmed and fitted in real nice. As you can see here, I just took a while to get everything to fit, and I got Clecos in place, holding everything where it needs to be, and it is it's looking pretty good in here. So the back is, I'm trying to make it out of 2 pieces, which is proving to be quite difficult just for handling and moving the stuff around. But what I totally did last video that I screwed myself was I welded in these trunk braces, and that totally makes it a pain in the ass for the floor because I have to kind of hook around them. So working backwards, learn from my mistakes, I screwed up. I cut it loose at the bottom here on this one, and it allows me to slip it underneath of there and start kind of working it back. So I think that'll work okay, but who knows, I may have to cut this one as well to make my life a little easier. I need to get everything all mocked up, so all these little notches for the bolts and everything line up really nice and everything fits really good before we lay out our beads. And I'm gonna actually lay the beadwork out with everything clecoed in place so you can really see what the pattern's gonna look like and how everything jives with the braces. And that should work out pretty good. So yeah, got everything going in the right direction, but I just gotta work on getting this rear panel fitted a little bit better. And then we're ready to do some big bead rolling panels. All right, so we're getting ready to lay out the beads here on the floor, and this is why a pattern is very important. Making a pretty good pattern that fits in a bunch of places, you know, kind of locks in. So what I did is I laid underneath before I pulled this pattern out the last time, and I drew on the bottom all my cross bracing that was where the sheet metal overlaps will overlap the cross bracing and sub rails, so we know that we're not rolling beads that are going to end up interfering, because we're going to want to press our beads down so that they're not raised up and your feet are catching on them. So we're going to press the beads down. So if we press the beads down and one of our beads lands on a sub rail, then the height of your bead is how far your floor is going to sit up off that sub rail, and it's going to make the floor all kind of wonky, and it just makes it a little bit difficult when you go to spot weld everything together. So what I did is I took a punch and punched through the pattern here, so I have a location for all my cross bracing. I have everything kind of fit in. I ripped around all these cleco holes so it sits down and flat. So what I can do is I can kind of mark the first couple of these with a Sharpie down through, and then I can connect the lines, because we know it's a straight piece of tubing on the other end. So I usually I'll mark the the first 2 or 3 or so. And just make sure your hole's all open all the way so you're getting a good mark. But I'll go and just put little dots, and then we'll draw that line on our sheet metal, and that kind of gives us a no-go area where you can't even see this when it's all done, what we're doing or why you did that. But we need to make sure we have kind of like a go, no-go area, so we know where we need to keep our beads away from. You don't get like the edge of a bead catching on a sub rail. So I'm going to draw these lines on before we even start laying the beads out on the floor now, and it gives us a nice little kind of road map of where we need to be. I did the same thing. I'm going to do the same thing on the floor here, where we're going to flange it. I have 2 marks on either end, and we'll run a straight edge across and mark that, and that's where we'll flange this back panel down so that it'll actually fit underneath of the front panel, and makes it kind of like a pretty seamless, or fairly seamless finish when it's all done and spot welded together. Jump all the way to this end. There. And I did actually mark even for my outside sub rails to give us an idea, so I will mark those as well just to be safe, especially up in this front area where we might be having limited room for beads. We want to make sure we don't run into the sub rails there. So So I'm just gonna need your help, Jay, to center
Yeah,
the bead.
it's about there.
And where's the start at?
Start is right there.
So it's gonna roll straight towards you. Back. You just tell me where to stop since I can't see.
Yeah, you're just about there.
Right there? Okay,
Alright.
that's really all we need to do. Keep this loose. Same deal, just get me.
Here, come to me a little bit so I can. Where's the line? Oh, the line out here. Right there.
And that's at the start?
Yeah.
Cranking the wheel pretty tight so it does a lot in a quick motion. We don't have to. We'll go all the way in. And Jay, you're gonna have to.
About there.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's just the little ones. Okay. Let's come back towards you. Oh, oh.
Right about there.
Open. And what do we have towards me? Oh, we just got the bottom ones on, right?
Yeah.
Twist. I don't know why this wheel's. Okay. Sorry. I don't know what the fuck's. Yeah, that's what's happening. What the hell's it doing that? No. Alright.
It's out there.
So kick that thing all the way around till you feel it touched. Okay, now that little knob on the bottom there, just tighten that down till you feel it like really tight. Okay? Yeah, that helps big time.
Yep.
It's not walking around on us as much. Okay. Loose. Is that all of them? I think so.
So,
Alright. Especially on a 1-inch bead, it doesn't. Alright. Everybody ready?
yeah.
Jock straps pulled up.
So far, so good.
When you're this tight, it kind of wants to follow its own.
Yeah.
I know. You can't steer quick. You have to just, if it comes off just a little bit, you just slowly get it back and you won't notice it. But if you start doing this,
Yeah.
then the bead's gonna do this. But if you
Yeah.
just slightly have it at a little, you'll never notice. All right, so all the way there. You can feel the strength it's freaking putting in already.
Alright.
See it from my end. I can see your.
You want me to get on that side now?
Yeah, if you wanna, yeah, you know what, Jack? If you go over there to that corner,
Uh-huh.
I got it. Yep. I'm pretty good here, but as it gets over there, it'll be
Okay.
heavy. Once we get, I'll let Jay tighten once we get this. Great. go 8.
1,
Yep.
what?
Yep, keep going.
2,
2.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
I see it. That's what it is. It's, Jack, you just catch it. Don't worry about anything else. This one's pretty good. Bring it back. They're wanting to pull into a track. Probably would have been better off not doing anything. Maybe, I don't know. We'll see. It'll look cool no matter what.
So 1, you still good?
Yep.
2,
Yep.
3, 6, 7, 8.
Probably could have went at 7 in hindsight.
I was just trying to keep it all the same.
No, I'm just saying now that we're into this project, I probably went 1 turn too many when I did that initial first bead.
It'll be our little secret.
It's fine. 7 I think would cause less distortion a little bit. Alright, so yeah, just keeping it.
Yep, I got it. I got the,
Steve's on watch.
yeah, I'm good over here. I got it. I can keep an eye on this now. A little bit more. Okay.
So you just tell us where the start is. Or he can. Jay, just let him move. Tell you where the start is. You're letting all the weight on the bead roller die. Just go on in.
Oh, you good with that?
Yep, go ahead.
2.
Alright, I'm going. I got this new super deep throat bead roller. We're gonna be able to do this.
Yep.
Alright?
Yep. We're good over here. I think the panel just popped a little bit.
6. Does that feel like
That's it. That feels 8.
that's it? Okay. Alright, ready?
Mm-hmm.
Got Steve watching the edges, which is probably the smartest thing we should have done from the beginning. Somebody
I'll let
watching.
you know for next time.
Yeah. We figured it out about halfway through.
Yeah.
Yeah, so your step goes to the front. So stand it up. No, the other way. You want to put the back because it's going back that way. So one step.
Got it? Yeah, I got it.
Hooking it.
All right, you're free.
Okay. Now in the back, we got to go under that. You got to sneak it under that brace.
Oh, I got it. Yeah, okay.
It has to kind of slide it over all the way.
Oh, all right. Yeah.
Yep. Okay. That should. And, all right, so I'm gonna give you guys 2 of these. And I'm also gonna, we should probably start with the 1/8" ones for the flange. Is there 4 holes for the flange? Is that correct? How many holes do I have for the flange right there?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
Oh, 6. 1, 2.
7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I don't know if you use them all. Some of them are pretty small.
All right, so got the trunk floor in, we got all the Clicos in, and it fits pretty decent. I need to do a little bit of English wheel work and a little bit of work around some of the beads where the panel moved a little bit. But overall, it fits, everything lined back up, all our Clicos fit, our panel overlaps, and I'm pretty darn happy with it. A lot of work to get to this point, but we got the floor in and it fits and looks pretty darn cool. So really I just need to do a little bit of trimming around the edges and, like I said, adjust the panel a little bit, weld this brace that I cut loose back in, and then I can take this jack out that's behind me so the thing is, the body's sitting good, and yeah, we're doing pretty good. So I'll end up doing a crap ton of this spot welding and seam welding along the way off camera, but we're gonna end up doing that probably a little later in the project, because for right now I want to have access, if I have to pull out the floor pan and mess with any of the stuff under the car. But this is a huge step in the car. Now next time what we can work on is getting the steering box and steering column and all that stuff kind of set up, because now that we have the dash in place, we've got to figure out what we're doing with the steering wheel, steering column, and I can make a mock-up seat and all that stuff, and it should work out pretty good. But it's crazy to think that only like, what, 2 or 3 weeks ago, if that, maybe 2 weeks ago, this thing was just on the body cart. We had just brought it in and got it in and really started kicking butt. So it's been really cool. So that's a big update on the Schroll 32. Hope you guys enjoying it. Let me know what you think of the new floors. Thanks, guys. Catch you later.